I'm ready for y'all today.
You don't see what? You don't see the live? I don't see a countdown, but I see it. I see like this is what I see on the phone right now. Mm-hmm. Yep, I got it. All right, mute now. Hello, everybody. What's up? Welcome back to the Untold Stories of Solar. I am your host, Marquez Gaines, and this is the one and only, the great Miss Carolyn Griffey. How you doing, Carolyn?
I'm doing great. How are you guys doing today? You have to excuse us. You know what? As you see, we've got a different layout today. We've got an amazing, amazing blessing bestowed upon us. So right now we are working out everything, and I'm not on mute anymore.
Yeah, we're here. We got a new platform. We hope everybody enjoys the new platform. We hope everybody likes the new layout that we have. We're trying to get a little bit more professional. We want to make it look great for the people. We want everybody to have a good time and want you to show you guys what all Solar is about. So in this show, what we're doing is we're just going to tell a little bit of stories about Solar. We're going to go through the history. We're going to tell some stuff that you guys may not know. We're going to answer some questions. We're going to dispel some rumors. We're going to give you some juicy tea, and we're going to enjoy some music. That's what we plan on doing, you guys. So here we are. This is episode 2, but it's the very first episode on YouTube. So I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys are all tuned in, and I hope you guys are ready for a great show tonight, all right? So first things up, Carolyn, how you been doing this week?
Okay, I don't know if I have a delay. I really couldn't hear anything. But anyway, you guys, we just, first of all, I know because we found at the last minute that we couldn't do it on the Solar page because it is private. So we're making extra strides to make sure that we can and basically get everyone to be able to gather at the same time. So, you know, as we grow, you guys tell a friend, you guys shoot the link so we can continue to grow and we can have the whole family back together again. We are so excited to be here.
Absolutely. So for those of you that missed episode 1, we just kind of talked about the beginning of Solar and how Soul Train Records got started and how we kind of transitioned from Soul Train to Solar Records. And you know, you guys missed a great first episode, but this is the second episode. You won't get lost. You know, we'll kind of give you like a little recap. We'll fill you in as we go along. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to talk about the actual very first artist on Solar, which was on Soul Train Records, which was the Soul Train Gang, right? So, Carolyn, you want to tell us a little bit about the Soul Train Gang?
I don't even know why he asked me these questions, you guys, because every time I begin to ask questions, I sound like a novice compared to him because he all of history. I only know about the Soul Train Gang because I've had to read about them now because when I was a little girl, everybody was adults back then, but you know what? They were an amazing group of people. Matter of fact, one of the former members of Shalimar, I think, was it Gerald, was in, and gosh, and his brother Terry Brown. Okay, everybody, you guys, I want you to, there should be a picture of the Soul Train Gang. And if you guys look at these, they were a beautiful group of people. But the men on there, beautiful. Terry, God rest his soul. He was just, you know what? I know I had a lot of crushes on Soul Train, but I think he was my first. I'm not supposed to tell that, but Terry Brown, beautiful man. I loved him, was close to his wife and children. And matter of fact, a little history is Terry Brown's niece. Terry Brown's married to a twin, which was my friend Lisa Schmedley. She actually was a costume director on the first season of American Soul. Her mother's twin sister was married to Terry.
That's amazing how it's all connected, ain't it?
It's all connected. You know what, Marquez? It's all connected. So like I said, I'll let you give all of the history on the Soul Train Gang. But I just, it was a plaything for me. It was a fun thing. I was a kid. These were gorgeous group of young musicians, singers. And, they were just super nice to me. I think they did one album. And
yes.
They were very entertaining to see. I don't know if we have any video of them, but you know what? The music's there. You guys can definitely check it out. You can find it out actually on YouTube. So
absolutely. But yeah, the Soul Train Gang was the very first act on the Soul Train Records, and it consisted of future Shalimar lead singer brother Gerald Brown, his brother Terry Brown, as well as some other beautiful people like Miss Judy Jones, Patricia Williamson, and the late Denise Smith.
There's another connection there, but I think we'll move forward and talk about that later.
You can.
Oh, no. I mean, I don't know. A lot of people didn't know that beautiful Judy Jones was married to Morris Day of the time for
Mr. Morris Day. Absolutely. You know, I wasn't going to leave Judy out.
Absolutely.
No, I wasn't going to leave Judy out. I love Judy. She's been
I love it. When I was a little girl, I just thought she was just so pretty, and she still is to this day.
Still is to this day. And her and Morris had some beautiful kids.
Oh yeah.
and it was a beautiful situation. So shout out to Judy Jones. As a matter of fact, she actually caught our first episode too. Just to
Did
let you know.
she?
Yes, she caught the first episode.
Wow.
Yes, she is a member of the Solar Records group, so she did catch the first episode. So thank you so much, Miss Judy Jones.
Thank
Day,
you,
we just wanted to show
Judy.
you some love. Thank you so much. All right. They created the first single on Soul Train Records, which ended up being the Uptown Festival. That was the first song. Well,
Which
actually,
actually,
the Soul Train theme was the first song,
well,
and
actually,
then
the Soul Train theme was the first song. The Soul Train '75. Actually, the Uptown Festival, they were session singers.
there were a bunch of session
They
singers.
were
It
a bunch of
wasn't
session
even Gerald
singers, and
Brown,
that is
Terry Brown, and
why
Judy.
they had to create. My dad and Don had to. They had to create Shalimar around it because they really didn't expect for the single to hit the way that it did. It was just kind of something they put together. They had a label. They had to have something on it. I mean, and with the success that they had with it, they're like, wow, now we've got to promote it.
Right.
So, and that is where Chico, of course, he went to Jeffrey. Jeffrey pulled his dance partner at that time, which was, of course, Jody, got together and they, when that was the beginning. That was, I think,
Right.
and isn't there should be a picture of the three of them.
Yes, the original Shalimar actually consisted of Gerald Brown, Mr. Jeffrey Daniel, and the lovely Miss Jody Watley. Also want to give a quick shout out to Jeffrey Daniel. He just celebrated his birthday
He
on August
did.
24th.
And a beautiful blessing. And you know what? And I feel terrible. I've definitely got to reach out to my brother. I just found out that he had a brand new baby girl on his birthday.
Yes, he did. Yes, he
Yes.
did.
So
So he has a
congratulations.
brand new baby on his birthday. So happy birthday to the Pop Alone
Happy,
kid.
beautiful, beautiful baby.
Beautiful baby. Happy birthday to Jeffrey Daniel. We love you. But that is the original Shalimar, Mr. Gerald Brown, Jody Watley, and Mr. Jeffrey Daniel.
And I have
So
to say, since we are doing birthdays, Jeffrey Daniel and Chuck Johnson share the same birthday. And you guys will be
absolutely.
hearing about Chuck Johnson as we move on because there literally would be no Solar Records or Dick Griffey and Don Cornelius coming together had it not been for Chuck Johnson. So I just wanted to definitely put that out there because, there's so many people who made so many things happen that go unsung. And, part of this is to make sure that they don't go unsung. Everybody
Absolutely.
who put blood, sweat, and tears and any type of energy into this label, into this family, definitely deserves their adieu. And we want to make sure that, and if we ever forget anybody, you know what? You know who the best historians are? My family over across the pond. You know what? Overseas,
Yeah.
I have to give it to you guys. United States, we have to get that. Because overseas,
Yeah.
they can tell you everything. There's times I have gone and they've given me the whole rundown and they're asking me questions. And I'm like, I need to be asking you questions. I've learned more from them than I have just being a part of it because, let's understand. I was born in '69. The record company came along and so you go ahead and you figure that one out.
Well, you're the baby of Solar. You're
I
the
am the
golden
baby of
baby of Solar.
Solar.
You are the golden baby of Solar. So
I don't
you
know
are
how golden I
definitely
am. I've been trying to tan, but this mid south ain't working for me. We got sitting in a hurricane, and hey, look, I need to
you
be
say,
at a
I don't know
bar
how
look,
golden.
and order a Corona and 2 hurricanes. Maybe that would kind of explain what's going on.
Hey, you know what? It's crazy times that we live in, but we're making it. We're
Absolutely,
making
and
it.
thank God
We're
for
making
that.
it. Absolutely, because it could be a lot worse. So we're definitely making it. So I'm definitely happy and proud that we're all making it. All right. So the first act was the Soul Train gang that then turned into Shalimar, and the second act happened to be my favorite act on Solar Records, which is the Mighty Whispers.
Wait, and if you know what's so funny about that, Marquez, because you're always
What's
saying
that?
my uncles, and kind of in my head, I'm like, wait a minute, those are my uncles.
Right, right. We do that. We literally quick little tidbit. This is a little bit off of the subject, but for those of you that don't know, we were having a discussion earlier about something, and I call Carrie Lucas my mama too. So today we had a
Your
moment where
favorite
I was just
child.
like, I'm the favorite child today. I win today. No disrespect to Lucas and Regina, but I'm the favorite today. I win. I won today. So
Hey, I'm the middle child, so I'm used to being overlooked. It's totally fine. It's okay.
but see, you got the voice though. You got her voice. Like I can't compete with you.
I really
You got her
don't.
voice.
I do not, Marquez. That's what's so funny. I was
It's
talking.
close.
Actually, you know what's funny? My daughter, of course, your niece Kennedy, the other day,
Mhm.
she just starts playing. She loves listening to her grandmother's music, which I think is amazing. Most kids would be like, oh, that's. So she just started playing. I forgot. I think it was What's the Question? I forgot what song it was. And she was
Mhm.
listening. And you know what? And we all do this. Howard and I were talking the other day. I just forget. Man, because we're in the industry, we really forget to pay homage to our people out there that
Right.
that are legendary because they're our family. We take them for granted. I mean, I remember as a kid, Michael Jackson coming up to me backstage at the concert talking about, "Hey, I can't wait to go riding with you," and I'm just like, "Oh, okay." Like it wasn't a big deal. Oh my gosh, I'm freaking out now. Like, why didn't I
Yeah.
freak out? But
Yeah.
but
It was
seriously, and
everyday life.
I was listening to her voice, Marquez, and I promise you, my mother, and I'm not saying this because she's my mother, she is one of the most beautiful uh, tones, her resin, her pitch, her everything. Because you know what? A lot of singers nowadays, they weren't classically trained. Now, she had natural talent, but Seth Riggs, God, man, Seth Riggs has worked with some of the most amazing artists. And you know what? Lord, there's just so many things that those singers got that we're not getting these days. So I just want to say, Mom, and I was talking about why I didn't want to sing because my voice is deep and it's raspy and I have certain inflections, but my voice would never. I would never even compare my voice to hers. So I thank you for that. But anyway,
Absolutely. And that takes us right to Mama Carrie. Artist number 3 on Solar Soul Train Records was Miss Carrie Lucas
yes,
with her very first album entitled Simply Carrie.
yeah. And did you see the picture on that album,
Yeah,
Carrie?
and the
Uh huh.
crowd should be seeing they should be seeing the picture right now.
Yeah, but you know what? That was. Okay, and I have to say this. Do you know how traumatic it was being the daughter of a singer who people loved, and I was sitting at the concerts and could not tell them that she was my mother? I literally had to sit at the concert. I mean, Big West would go and sit me right in, center stage with somebody, and God rest his soul. God, I miss West. Sit me right there. And do you know that meant, oh, look at that, Carrie Lucas. And then they had the album. Did you have anything on under there, Mom? Oh my goodness. And she got this long snake skin. That thing was bad, by the way. And then there's a shadow, but it looks
No,
like
that album was the second album.
no, that was Simply Care. Oh, no, that was the
Simply
inside of Simply Carrie.
was it?
That's the
Or was it the
inside.
second one?
Yeah, because it was almost.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was It was the rated R version. See, you had the PG version on cover with the Daisy Duke shorts, and
And the
back in the
inside
day
was
when you opened up the albums, when you
uh-huh.
opened it up on the inside, she's got this big long. It's very kind of. It was very a classic photo, but I mean, it left everything to the imagination. But I believe that it made it look like she didn't have anything on underneath that. So.
Hey, and I tell you that she's definitely still one of my favorite singers. Um, definitely underrated. Definitely 100%. But I love you, Mama Carrie. I know she's watching. We love you. So her first album, Simply Carrie, didn't really do too much. Didn't have a lot of
Over
success
here
over here in America, but over in the UK they loved
and
it,
in Japan,
and in Japan,
huge.
and and
France.
she and she went to work. And as a matter of fact, shout out to some of the guys that are in the comments. I believe that some old band members are watching too. So shout out to those guys for holding down the sound for Mama Carrie. We appreciate
Anthony
it.
Williams. Uh-oh. Uncle Vicky. Hey,
Anthony
girl.
Williams is in the building. Let's do a couple of shout outs real quick while we're at it. Anthony Williams is in the beginning. We love you. We appreciate it for real. We appreciate you for real. Thank you for popping in. You're a legend in your own right, sir. This is your history, your legacy, as well as the Griffey family legacy. So we appreciate you, man.
And,
Platinum Vault Media Network. That is brother Kevin Nelson, close family friend of Lakeside.
oh,
He grew
hey,
up around
Kevin.
us. Yeah,
Absolutely.
he grew up around us too. I love you, Kevin. That's my brother. Thank you so much for popping in. We appreciate you. Uncle Vicky is in the building. Huge supporter and family friend. We thank you so much. We
Also,
really, really do.
hold on. You know what? Anthony, you know what? I'm so glad that you just said this, Anthony, because I did forget about Jolly Brown. Like I say, and chalk it up to me being so young. My gosh. You know what? I'm giving homage right now. Like I say, and as we said earlier, a lot of this is why we call it the Solar family as well, because there are things that we may miss.
Right.
And we definitely want you guys to fill in those blanks. So this is beautiful. See, and this is how, we can rewrite history and rewrite it correctly where no one gets
Absolutely.
So I'm
And
sorry,
no one.
Marquez, but thank
No,
you
you're
so much.
fine. We don't want anybody to be left out because if it wasn't for all of these guys, we would have no legacy to talk about. So I
Absolutely.
want them to pop in. I want them to say their piece. I want them to say their due. So 1977 was the year that Soul Train Records kind of took off. The first album by the Whispers was called One for the Money. That we both laughed because that's an album that I don't think anybody particularly likes. I can tell you,
My dad liked it.
Yes, Dick loved that album. I believe two-fifths of the Whispers liked that album. I know for a fact the lead singer did not like that album,
Nope.
but it did what it was supposed to do. One for the Money actually charted. It charted as high as like number 20 at one point, so it did what it was supposed to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So slowly after that, Don Cornelius decided he didn't want to be in the record business anymore. So the great Dick Griffey bought him out.
You know what? I'm sorry. What I should have done, Marquez, I should have sent that little clip that I posted earlier this week. I did a really short clip that I took from Unsung. And basically, he told the story himself about, the fact that Don no longer wanted to be a part of it, and then buying him out, and then of course starting Solar. So if you guys want to see that clip, it is actually, on my Carolyn Griffey page, and I did post it on the Solar Records page, so you guys can go back and take a look at that.
Absolutely. So in 78, Don Cornelius decided he no longer wanted to be in the business, and so Dick Griffey bought him out and created Solar Records, which stands for Sound of Los Angeles Records.
Los Angeles.
So would you like to talk a little bit about that time?
The acronym.
Baby Griff, would you like to talk a little bit about that time?
I'm trying to follow you guys. It seems like we're having a little delay on the sound. Okay, so right now, like I said, you guys stay with us. We're working through some kinks. It seems like there was a little interruption with the sound. So as we're talking about the time from, I guess, going into Solar Records, there was a lot of speculation about that, of course, later on, which we will get into and talk about. But Soul Train Records, which, yes, I'm wearing in my shirt again, and I know it's backwards, but Soul Train Records, at that point in time, because we started Solar Records, it was just lying dormant. Nobody ever did anything with that. And and like I say, we'll come full steam ahead later on. But I did want to specify in case people miss, because people may be seeing me wearing the Soul Train shirt versus the Solar Record shirt, which we will be wearing at different times.
Right.
This is legacy. This is still home. There was never, ever another artist on Soul Train Records. Once it was purchased and bought out, that was something that we bought technically that really that belonged to Solar Records.
Absolutely.
What
Absolutely.
you focus
And the one
solely on the show.
and the one thing I want to also add, because there's a common misconception, and thank you, BET, for American Soul, but there's a common misconception that there was some drama. There wasn't any drama. Dick and Don continued to work together for years with the Soul Train show, as well as other ventures as well.
Right.
But he just did not want to be in the record business. He didn't see the vision.
Absolutely.
He didn't see the
Absolutely.
vision, and they lost. Can we talk about that? Like, I actually really want to talk about that. Soul
Yeah.
Train Records lost money hand over fist.
Hand over fist.
Nobody was successful out the gate. Nobody. The only thing that was successful out the gate was the Soul Train Gang and Shalimar with the first 2 singles. But that was it. No one else was successful out the gate. Actually, there's a funny story about the Whispers. In 78, the Whispers will tell you in 78, they worked 3 times in 78. They did 3 gigs the whole year of 78. And now when you look at it, and if you go back and look at their discography, you see that in 78, we've got Chocolate Girl out. We've got I'm Gonna Make You My Wife out. We've got then we had the Headlights album out with Olivia and Let's Go All the Way. But for whatever reason, it really didn't take off until 79. You love which one? Headlights? The Headlights album?
Headlights album, yeah.
The Headlights album was dope. It really was. Children of Tomorrow, All the Way, Olivia, Disco Melody. That was a great album. But Soul Train Records struggled, and that's part of the reason why Don wanted to get out, because he felt like it was a sinking ship. But when Don decided to get out, lo and behold, not only did Dick take it over on his own, we also brought in a great producer and a great family in Mr. Leon Silvers.
Mr. Right. Leon Silvers, which
Mr. Leon
we
Silvers.
definitely want to have on the podcast.
He will. Leon Silvers will definitely be on. We don't know when, but you guys subscribe to the channel. You guys keep up with it, because we are going to be having different guests on at different times. So make sure you guys hit the subscribe button here on YouTube, so that you guys subscribe to the channel. And when you subscribe to the channel, you won't miss any updates. You won't miss anything new. Make sure you follow the Solar Records group on Facebook. Join the group. We have open dialogue, and you also may have the chance to talk to some of your favorite artists, some of your favorite executives, producers, writers. They all are there, and they all contribute to the page. So you guys make sure you join the page. Make sure you hit subscribe.
Add in terms of subscribing to the page, a lot of people, like on social media, we hit like or we do that. Also, as you share the page, share the link. I think that's kind of going to be our challenge in the next week, is really getting people to click on the link and, like you say, and subscribe, because we want to make sure that we are able to round everyone up. So on your pages, and remember, we've tried to switch over our Solar page. It's private. It started as a private group, and we tried to open it up, and we're not able to, which is why we're doing this for all of us. So if you guys find the link, you can go to Marquez's page and to my page, my Carolyn Griffey page, any of them. There's like 15. We will share the links, so we will continue to grow. But it's actually up to you. So that's your homework, you guys. This week, those of you that are on here, by next week, we want to see it double, because I know you're going to at least send and share this with about 5 to 10 people. Tell a friend. Tell a friend. Tell your mama,
right.
and then tell whoever. Tell everybody.
Tell your mama, and then we want everybody to come on in and have a good time.
And I want to say this really quick, too, because I just wanted to share this with you. For those of you that pretty much everybody on here knows me, but anybody that clicks on sees me sipping on this little drink. It looks like a little cocktail. It's water. So I don't want anybody to think that I'm getting lived up on this thing. What I do, really quickly, we're taking a health break, 2 seconds. I get flavored, sugar-free flavored, and I put it in my water. So when you see me on here, I'm not getting toasted. I'm drinking my water. You guys stay hydrated. Back to you.
No judgment. No judgment, because while you're drinking that, I'm drinking Powerade. So I'm not.
Hey!
I agree. We got to stay hydrated. We got to stay hydrated,
guys.
But I promise you this though, that'll be the last time you see any Brandon on this show. Until
He said, because in about 20 minutes, it's going to be some Crown Apple.
right.
Crown Vanilla.
Absolutely. So let's make sure we hit some of these questions, y'all. Here's what I want you guys to understand. That all week long, I want you guys to subscribe to the YouTube page. Like Carolyn said, tell a friend to subscribe. We're going to be uploading more videos. And every Wednesday, this will happen every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Eastern Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, and 5 p.m. Pacific Time. We will be here every Wednesday. And guess what? We're going to make a short announcement. I got more to tell you later on. But right now, I want you to know every week there will be a different guest. So every week you'll have me and Carolyn, but there will be somebody special from the Solar stable every week telling their own stories, giving their own insights. And what I want you guys to know is we want everybody that's watching, whether you're a friend, family, or fan, we want you all to know that we are here. We're listening to you. We're here to answer your questions. So if you have any questions at all, you could type it right there in the box, right there in the bottom of your screen in the live chat.
You put a Q, it says Q in front of your questions. So we know that it's something that you want to ask. Also, too, I want to add, we're also, the guests that we're going to have aren't just going to be from the Solar stable, which is so funny that you said that. You know, we used to actually have Solar stables.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll get into that later too. You know, our Rickies are big horse lovers, and that's a whole nother thing. But I want to say, I forgot. Lord, see, that's what happens when you're unscripted. That's okay.
That's what happens. That's what happens.
No, but you guys, what I did want to say was I did speak with some of the Soul Train. I don't like calling them Soul Train dancers, but some of the Soul Train family. Some of the early, really famous Soul Train dancers, some of the personalities that people really remember from Soul Train, like Cheryl Song, the Asian lady with the long, beautiful hair, and you know, they've got their own stories and their own commentary as far as the show is concerned as well. And a couple of them have books coming out. So the truth is all starting to unravel, and you've got a plethora of people coming forward. So you guys, as Shalimar's song said, get ready.
Because it's always going to be a night to remember on Wednesday nights.
It's about to go down.
It's about to go down. So like I said, make sure you guys hit subscribe, invite your friends, invite your family. Every week, we're going to have somebody different on to tell their Solar stories. And also what I want you guys to do, because this is completely interactive. It's not just going to be us talking and running our mouths, because we know we can talk forever. But it's also about being interactive and giving the fans what they want. So every week, all during the week, you guys can hit us up. You can send us emails with your questions. You can email us at untoldsstoriesofsolar@gmail.com. And we will see your questions, and we'll make sure that we include them in that week's episode of the Untold Stories of Solar. All right. Speaking of, we did have some questions that came to our inbox over these last 2 weeks since the first episode. And most of them were for Carolyn, believe it or not.
Oh, my goodness. I just had, who is this? Who is, it doesn't hit the spot, 1006.
I have no idea, but they're kind of.
Okay, also, you guys, when you come on YouTube, put what your name is, because we don't know what like when you're on IG Live, we don't know how to identify you. So could you please, if we know who you are, could you say this is so-and-so? It would really help us be able to identify with you. Because they were saying your memory is worse than mine. No.
We all know who you are, but welcome to the Lost Memory Club, whoever it is. So like I said, you guys hit subscribe, let your friends know, let your family know. Email us, untoldsstoriesofsolar@gmail.com. We'll answer all of your questions. And like I said, we're going to move into the question segment. We got a few questions. Most of them are for Carolyn. So we gonna see if she's willing to answer some questions today, y'all. So a young lady by the name of Ashley wants to know, how did you end up joining Shalimar?
Oh, well, very cool. What I was sleeping in my room one night, and someone came in with a potato sack and put it over my head. And I woke up in this room with Jeffrey and Howard sitting there and my dad. And actually, it's a real interesting story. I've always stayed very close. Everybody that knows me knows I have an extremely close relationship with Howard Hewitt. I used to babysit his kids. And I mean, we've always been like family, and Jeffrey as well. But Howard was doing his solo stuff, and I was actually at a rehearsal for Howard, when he had released his solo stuff. Jeffrey had been doing some touring overseas, but they asked me to come and do a show in London. It was a private gig in London, and they said, to come do some, I guess, some background parts. You tell me I was filling in for the female parts, which would be, at that time. Well, I can't say Jodie's parts because the thing is, there was another female in Shalimar after that, but they were singing the classics anyway. So I went ahead and, oh God, I was horrible. They won't admit it. It was terrible. We did this gig. It was really fun. But when we came back home, my dad called a meeting with me, called me to the house and wanted to ask me about my little excursion to London. So I shared it with him. And when he found out that I went over with the guys, and he was like, okay, since you guys are doing this, he called a meeting with the guys. He actually flew Jeffrey, I think, from Japan. He was in Japan. Our manager, Michael Gardner, and pretty much put it together and said, look, this is what it's going to be. And I didn't want to do it. I promise you, he kind of suggested it to me before. I never wanted to do it. Just so a lot of you don't know, Shalimar was my favorite group when I was a kid. You don't understand. Ask anybody that I know. You can find really stupid pictures of me with Shalimar t-shirts. I used to have Shalimar pins. I used to have holes in all my clothes from my I wouldn't go anywhere without my Shalimar pin. Favorite group ever. So to me, there could never, ever be another replacement. But long story short, it ended up working out. And Marquez, did I tell you, I even actually tried to reach Jodie during that time, because I was like, if they're going to get back together, let's try to do it. Reached out to Jodie. She would not return my calls. And, basically found out that she said, you know what? I don't want anything to do with Shalimar. I'm happy with my solo career. And we had to respect that. So then I was like, okay. I didn't think that I was really cut out for it, but 20 something years later, I'm still here. So that's the story in a nutshell.
Well, let's also acknowledge the fact that you are the longest running female member of Shalimar.
Wow. You know what's so funny? You're the first person that said that. No, and Howard and Jeffrey, they say that too. And I never thought about it because, of course, the songs that you hear on the radio, of course, the voice is what sticks with you. But when we have to go out and perform those songs, yeah, I guess you can say I am the longest standing female of the group. So it's an honor.
Absolutely. Well, because the group Shalimar really only lasted about 10 years. And in that 10 years,
say you think 78, 77 to 83. Jeffrey and Jodie left in 83.
Yeah. But the group Shalimar as a whole only lasted about 10 years.
Yeah.
And in that 10 years, the classic Shalimar that we know of Howard, Jeffrey, and Jodie, that lineup only lasted 5 years.
Yeah.
And we got all that great music done in 5 years.
Small amount, absolutely. Yeah. Actually, you know what? There's somebody I actually would love to bring on the show. His name is Julian Jackson. He used to travel with. He did all the cinematography, filming, and everything. He traveled with them. He did so many things. He's actually going to be filming and working on the documentary and the stuff that we're about to do. So wait till you hear his stories. Ooh, honey, he traveled with both versions.
Oh wow,
that's going to be fun.
Wow. Well, you just got a comment. Anthony Williams said your voice is great. And
Oh,
with you, it sounds like Shalimar never missed a beat.
wow. Oh my gosh, thank you. That means a lot.
Yeah,
Because even though my voice, like I even say with my mother, is so different, I guess the reason why, and I didn't mention this either, and because there was a battle about it, but my father left the name to me, before, of course, he passed, because he knew of my love for the group. He knew that I respected the members. A lot of people would go and they look at something as a money train. It was Shalimar sentimental to me because it's been emotional, and Marquez can tell you he's been through hell and high water with all of us in this situation, and even with the lawsuits and stuff. But I never wanted to taint the memory of the music, because what's so important, and I think it's what a lot of artists miss when they try to recreate something, is they try to change it.
that's right.
And it's so funny. Some of the best songs that I love about Shalimar were the ones that Jody sang. Like Don't Try to Change Me. That's one of my favorite songs. I'll probably never do them because they're emotional to me. Because when I was a little girl, those are the songs that I loved. And of course, I loved Jody at that time. So, it's just, it's not a thing of me trying to be anyone else. It's really trying to capture the best that I can, really the chemistry and the magic to me that Shalimar really, brought with, like I say, the thing is, and Leon Silver's just being the glue to all of it.
Absolutely.
There's just a sound, even to this day, when I hear those songs, it still touches me in the same way. And I think we have to realize, and not even as artists, but even as consumers and listeners, music is the soundtrack to our whole lives. We have babies to music. We get married to music. We have funerals to music. So there's always a musical attachment we have to every part of our life. So you have to
Absolutely.
really carry that with respect and respect that. Can you imagine having something beautiful and somebody taking it and just gluing a bunch of crap on it just to make it look different? It loses its value. So if there's anybody that had any issues or any comments or whatever, then you've heard it from the horse's mouth. My thing
That's
is
right.
preserving the legacy and celebrating the legacy, because if we don't do it, who's going to do it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's funny because Anthony Williams asked a question. He said, is that still her same attitude? Does she still have that same attitude of she just wants to focus on her solo career? And
I'm staying out of that one, Marquez. I'm going to let you answer that.
the answer to that question is very simple. It's no. She wants to be a part of. She wants to celebrate her lineage to Shalimar, as she should, because she's a founding member of Shalimar. She's the first woman of Shalimar. She is on every Shalimar hit that you hear, with the exception of "Dancing in the Sheets." So she has the right to the legacy just as much as the rest of the guys do.
But
Uh,
everybody has a right.
Everybody has a right to it.
That's the
Everybody
point.
has a right to it. And it's just respecting each other enough to say, hey, you're doing your thing over here. We're doing our thing over there. There's no hard feelings. There's no animosity. Just let's do it the right way. So, yes. So we all love Jody Watley. And it's funny because I'm actually going to say something that we had in a personal conversation, but it's good enough to go on here. Me and Carolyn actually, contrary to what most people may think, they tried to make a feud. There's really not a feud because we love and respect Jody so much for what she did for our culture. If it wasn't for Jody Watley, there would have
There be
been
no
no Madonna.
Madonna. Come on
Madonna
now.
stole everything
Madonna
from Jody.
stole all of Jody. The
All of it.
lace, the hair, the tutus. Every girl,
Earrings. The
you know what?
earrings.
But you know what? She gave Black women a fashion identity during that time. We didn't have any role models. And what she did is because she just loved, and I remember because, I grew up, Michelle Watley, Jody's younger sister, and I, we were best, and to this day, we're still close. We just, she loved old movies and that fashion and the class. And you got to think about it. What role models do we have now? if I want my little girl to look at a woman, I mean, and no offense, do I want her to look at Cardi B? Or do you know what I'm saying? The thing is, who do we have for our daughters to look at? At that time, we didn't have black women that set that fashion standard. I mean, there were some, but who made that statement? I'm sorry, when Still a Thrill came out, I was done. Honey, I had a tutu. Honey, we were whacking and doing it was killed it. But then,
Absolutely.
you have to look at then Madonna came and was looking down and said, okay, I'm taking that, that, that. And it tried to take the shine off of it. Luckily, it stuck. But it's the same thing throughout history. Little Richard, Elvis. I mean, history repeats itself.
Right. It does. It does. So that was the question. The next question came from a lady named Lisa. Lisa wanted to know, what is your favorite memory of your dad?
Wow, that's hard. There's so many. Um, this one's kind of embarrassing.
Uh-oh.
I've posted a picture of it. This is when I was really little. My dad, because he was always working and always gone or traveling, his favorite thing to do when he came home was get in that bed, put on his dashiki robe, and cross his feet and get that remote out, put his blackout curtains in the room, and just watch TV. So I knew at that time that was kind of his unwind time. And of course, me being, daddy, 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 when he came home, I would go and jump in the bed with this poodle. I don't know what it was. This poodle named Sophronia that he and my mom had in the room. It's this gray standard poodle because we had a standard poodle. I'd grab Sophronia and I'd get in the bed and I'd lay there and crawl up with dad and watch TV. And I just remember he'd be like, hey, beep, dee. So we had these affectionate, like it was either beep, which don't call me that anymore, Marquez. I heard you call me beep the other day. You're going to get hurt when you call me beep. I'm going to cut you with this. Cut you. Anyway, but I mean, just, when your parents call you affectionate names, like to this day, if I were to see Chuck Johnson, he still calls me beep. I think out of all the things, I think that's the thing I miss and I remember is, the fact that nobody got to see that side of him, the gentle
Right.
side and the fact that he got happy, when we came around or when my daughter, when his grandchildren were born, my sister's kids, and when I had my kids, he just, as a grandfather, oh, he changed. I will never forget. He flew all the way from Africa just to see Kennedy. And Kennedy was a picky baby. My daughter, she didn't want to go around anybody. When my dad came and picked her up, I was so tense because I just knew she was going to scream because he was so gruff in that voice. She just cooed. And at that, I mean, when I tell you that just caved him in, I think those are my two favorite things I really remember. Of course, he was really close to my boys as well, but I think those are the ones that really stuck out.
Okay. All right. Well, once again, rest in peace to the great, great, great Dick Griffey. Like there's a few people in the comments that said it, and I'm here to say it. I wouldn't be here in this industry if it wasn't for him.
Yeah.
I don't think the industry, the black industry, would be here if it wasn't for him.
But you know what?
Because
I want to talk about that though. Not today, but I'd like to specifically, as we go down the line, specifically talk about all of the things that people do not know that he was responsible for. It wasn't just music. I spoke with matter of fact when I told you about the digital aggravation, the black man aggregation, the digital aggregator for iTunes. His name is June Moon. I talked to him the other day, and I told him I would love for him to be on the show, and I think it'd be great to have him and several others who really have given homage to the fact that they wouldn't be doing what they were doing had they not been mentored by him. So he just was a great man of entrepreneurship. It was never just about music, always about the music. It was really about owning your own and from going from slave ship to ownership.
that's right. That's right. And I think that he did it quite possibly. He might have quite possibly, in my opinion, been the best example of that, because we watched him do it big on a level that most people couldn't reach. So we definitely love Dick for that. All the way back to him being a promoter and being the first big black promoter, taking the first acts overseas. Those are amazing things. Those are super amazing things that nobody else really talks about. And because of that, we are now where we are today. You know, for him to walk in to the LA Forum and take over the Forum and become the sole promoter of African American music in the LA Forum. That's amazing.
I
That's
mean,
amazing.
I mean, I even look at, like I said, we kind of touched on it. I look at Al Heyman, and I mean, I really would like to ask Al. You know, even though Al was smart, he was in college. I mean, he's also from Tennessee. You know, Al, if my dad hadn't flown you guys and my mom hadn't flown you to Bahamas and said, hey, you know what? I want to focus on the music industry. I'm going to hand this promotions business over to you because we believe that you can take this to the next level. Look at boxing. Look at boxing now. Look at HBO. Look at is it AIG? Look at. I mean, and that's when I start talking about the house that Dick built. There's so much stuff to me that nobody sees because they're not supposed to because we haven't shown them. So that's why I want to really, really just plead with you guys. Stay tuned. Every little bit that you can, you're going to learn something that you never knew. You never knew. So
Absolutely. We probably would not have had a great a successful run like that. There weren't many presidents and CEOs of record labels that stuck with their artists through and through like Dick did.
they didn't do that. Are you kidding? Do you know how many nights? I wish I could get LA or Face on here. You know what? Or even the guys in the deal. We could probably get Carlos to how many years they spent their mornings and nights at Solar Galaxy Sound Studios doing it over and over. That one didn't work. Throw it in the vault. Next. I mean, continuously. And my mother used to
Absolutely.
say all the time, man, other companies would have dropped those guys a long time ago and not have really taken the time to allow them to cultivate themselves in that environment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I know for a fact you can ask LA or Babyface right now, and they would never deny the opportunity that they were given.
Or
And trust me, I was the pest in the studio with them all the time, getting on their nerves while they were
hey,
doing it.
if we really want to keep it honest, all of the acts that came out of the Midwest, Lakeside, Midnight Star, and the Deal, none of them hit big for a while. All three of them, it took a while for them to get a hit. And
Right,
Dick stuck it out with him. He
right.
stuck it out, and he made sure that they got the hit. And when
Well,
they got the hit, the hits kept rolling.
I can say this because he was my father, but did he stick it out because he believed in them, or was he trying to get his money back?
Dick wanted his money back.
But no, but you know what? But I made that joke, which is right. But at the same time, he did believe in him. When he believed in someone, he did not give up on him. Trust me, because I was one of the most hard headed children he ever had to deal with. And if he never gave up on me, trust me, everybody else was a piece of cake.
Absolutely. All right, so there's a couple of more questions we got. Oh, this is a good one. What is your favorite Shalimar song to perform?
None of them. You know what? I'll be honest. Oh gosh, that's hard. Just one? Um, I'm gonna have to lie about this one because the other one the answer's way too long. I will. You know what? I'll say A Night to Remember because you know what? That's not true. I'm gonna give you two. I know you only asked for one. I'll make it quick.
That's okay.
I love A Night to Remember because we switch it up at it's our encore over there, of course. And what I do is I come out and your boy KC started this a long time ago. We do a piano solo and it sounds like it's a slow song. I come out, lights, light spotlight, and it's real soulful. and I sing the beginning of it. And then after the lights go down, bam, drum beat hits. Here comes Jeffrey, and then he comes out and he moon. I hate saying moonwalks, backslides out. That's the correct term. Backslides out, starts going into his thing, and the crowd's response is what it is that just, I think, that moves me. It's almost like it's spiritual, but that's kind of like a climactic thing. But you know what song I really love doing? We did a broken down version of the ballads this past tour. Help Me. I don't know what it is. Just that the just help me, and you've seen it.
Mhm.
It's just watching Howard. Howard does, when we do Shalimar, Howard doesn't really get a chance to allow us to really hear his voice. Because you know, when he does his solo stuff, Howard, he finesses a lot more when he does his solo stuff. The
Right.
Shalimar, it's a lot of fast stuff, it's a lot of dancing, it's a lot. He doesn't get a chance to really just finesse the songs. It's more like sing, you know, we're multitasking. But
Yeah.
Help Me, it's that song. You know what's weird? It's not one song that we sing that sounds like, I'm not saying it doesn't sound like the record, that hits me like the record. When I hear Help Me and Howard, and I literally fangirl all over again.
Really?
It's like, whoa, it's like I forget that this is Howard. It's, oh my God, that's Howard Hewitt.
Yes.
And I mean, you know, and it takes me back to being that little girl, that fan. So Help Me is the one song. I didn't realize it to this last tour. And then I look over, and this is Jeffrey, and this is Howard. And it's almost surreal. It's almost surreal. So I'll say Night to Remember and Help Me.
Now, you know what's the funny part about your answer? You know who wrote Help Me?
Are you really gonna leave me sitting here? Or you gonna answer?
No, you honestly, you froze. I tried to act like you didn't freeze, but you froze. I didn't cut it up. What's funny is Jody wrote that song.
You know what? I never knew that.
Jody, Leon Silvers, and Queen Nidra Beard.
Oh,
They
you know
wrote,
what?
the three of them wrote that song.
Wow, and I love Nidra. Nidra, I don't know if you're watching. I just love you, and no wonder I feel that song so much, because there's just such a soul in that song.
Yeah.
You guys, listen. I'm serious. Go check that song out after we get off of this. Just listen to it. It's just.
And
Man.
for those of you that don't know, Help Me is on the 1982 album Friends.
Yeah.
1982 album Friends. Help Me. It's written by Jody Watley, Leon Silvers, and Miss Nidra Beard. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that was the last question. We're coming to the end of the show. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Some of you guys are saying Second Time Around is your favorite Shalimar song, A Night to Remember, Make That Move. All great songs, all great catalog. We have so much in store for you. Thank you so much for tuning in to episode 2. Episode 2, you guys. And we will be coming to you every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock Eastern, 7 Central.
Did you tell them who's coming next week?
Well, that's the funny thing. Every week we're going to have a different guest. And so our very first guest that we are welcoming to the Untold Stories of Solar
is, drum roll, please. My mama.
Yo mama, the queen of Solar, Mrs. Carrie Lucas Griffey, will be in the building with us next week.
Coming from, baby. You're gonna be on here. Are we gonna? Can we do a song? Can we sing?
We're going. Yeah, I'm gonna let y'all. Yo, both of you are going to sing next week for me personally. This is gonna be a personal treat for me.
Oh man, I'm just gonna sit back and just. Usually, I don't listen to anything my mother says, but I guess this is an exception.
Right. Shout out to Larry Boulder.
I love my mother. Hey, you guys, listen. Do not forget. Tell a friend. Tag somebody. Paste it on here, because we are not on the Solar page. We are on YouTube. Untold Stories of Solar Records, you guys. Please don't forget. I'm telling you, next week, you know what? I asked a question. We don't have any more time, but we'll pick it up next week. I asked them what a line to a song was, and I think I owe somebody a t-shirt. So we'll revisit that next week. You guys, we hope that you just have an amazingly blessed week. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Drink. Stay hydrated. Mask up so we can go back on tour. We love you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So once again, everybody, please subscribe to the Untold Stories of Solar right here on YouTube. Tell a friend, bring a friend, invite a friend. Also join the Solar Record Group on Facebook where we have our chats. Make sure this week you guys send us whatever questions you have, whether they're for me, they're for Carolyn, or they're for our special guest, the one and only Miss Carrie Lucas.
Absolutely.
Send your questions in. And you can do that by emailing us at untoldsstoriesofsolar@gmail.com. So send your questions in, ladies and gentlemen, and make sure you guys do that.
Also, you guys, we have a Solar, and don't mind the UK. It was just for licensing purposes. We do have Instagram. We've got Solar Records UK and Soul Train Records Club. You guys follow. Tell a friend. We love you. Be safe.
Right. And I want you guys to know that this episode and every episode of the Untold Stories of Solar is presented to you by Quez Entertainment, and it is produced by the one and only. It is produced by the one and only Tall Boy Enterprises.
Oh boy!
So amazing. please make sure that we send our love out to Quez Entertainment, which is my company, as well as Tall Boy Enterprises, for his great production work. All the beautiful graphics that you see, everything that you see on this screen is brought to you by Tall Boy Enterprises. So thank you so much. And also we got want to shout out a couple of our sponsors. We have a couple of sponsors, you guys. So
okay, you're going to have to give me some of these next week, because I'm sitting here like, I'm like, really? You see, Marquez is the one he's got it all.
You got the same paper that I got.
No, I don't have the paper. I got the screenshot.
Right. You know what, though? I'm going to have to let you talk because I'm getting a little dry out here.
You're not drinking enough Gatorade.
I had water today too, ma'am. Thank you. But also let's give a shout out to a couple of our sponsors. First up is NOLA Unique Delights, which is a delicate and wonderful dessert company out of New Orleans, Louisiana. They make candy apples. They make praline, classic New Orleans praline candy, chocolate covered candies, all those kind of things.
I'm going to Shreveport tomorrow. Find me somewhere in Shreveport.
So it's NOLA Unique Delights. You can follow on Instagram, NOLA_unique_delights. And you can also find her on Facebook at NOLA Unique Delights. She ships to all 48 of the continental United States. So make sure that you guys check her out.
Also, next week, we didn't get to it, but we want to ask Marquez the question: how did he get affiliated with Solar Records?
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we're out of time today. So shout out to our very last sponsor. Our last sponsor is actually the Powder Room Podcast, which is a brand new podcast coming to you from the legendary Lily Lyons of SWV, along with her two sidekicks, Miss Nikki Nicole and Shay Styles. Make sure you follow them on the Powder Room _podcast on Instagram, as well as on Facebook at the Powder Room Podcast. So once again, those are our sponsors. This is the Untold Stories of Solar, presented by Quez Entertainment and produced by Tall Boy Enterprises. Thank you guys so much. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, right here on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Thank y'all so much. You guys have a good night.
Peace.